a lot of people are afraid to take a risk, and then they're afraid to listen to the same people that take the same risk every day and succeed. That's where the barrier of entry is getting like on it's on the fence, right? People are watching other people succeed, but they're afraid to do it, and why? And then you ask these people why, and there's not really a logical explanation behind it besides, oh, well, like I'm comfortable. Well, then if you're comfortable, then you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't have even thought about this if you're not willing to think outside of the box that you've been thinking in your whole life.
Hell yeah, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, well, what? I don't
It
even have words, man. I'm
it
on the move.
comes
Go ahead.
well, it comes back to like how everybody thinks, right? It's they like you said, they want that instant gratification. They don't want to sit. They don't want to do the process of it, right? They want to go from 0 to 100K, right? They want to just see it happen, right? And it doesn't happen like that. You have to. Everything compounds, right? You have to sit there and you start small and work your way up. And the issue, especially with like the getting uncomfortable being uncomfortable, right? Like sitting there and spending your money on investments. People, they'll go and spend a $500 dinner, but they won't drop 500 into the market, right? It doesn't make sense to us because we all think that way, right? We're all geared that way, but it's people want the status quo, right? They want to chase the things that make them look better. Well, what makes you look better is making a lot more money than you do, and then that $500 dinner doesn't affect you, right? When you can get to the point where you make $500 on one trade, well, your dinner's paid for by one fucking move instead of half your fucking paycheck. There's a big difference. And this ties back to the sacrifice, right? I tell people all the time, eat shit for 5 fucking years and then enjoy your life. Don't fucking travel. Don't do all the fucking dumb shit. Don't sit there and try to show off and flex and this, that, the other. Don't worry about it. Stop trying to impress people that don't give a fuck about you. At the
Yep.
end of the day, they don't. No one gives a shit. Just so you guys know, online, nobody gives a fuck if you have a BMW, a Ferrari, this, that, the other. You go to a $500 dinner, you go to a $50 dinner. Guess what? Nobody gives a fuck if you're doing it or not. So stop trying to impress them. Who gives a shit? Okay, I hear people go, well, I want to travel the world. Cool, me fucking too, but I didn't travel for 4 fucking years, so that way I can go on a $20,000 vacation, right?
Yep.
Like that's the mindset you need to adopt and you need to fucking embrace is you have to be okay with giving up the luxuries, right? You have to be okay. Like stop chasing. Oh well, I gotta buy a $600,000. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't. Grant Cardone doesn't own his house he lives in. You stupid fuck. Why do you think that is? Because he understands how real estate works. Because guess what? If something goes wrong, he picks up the fucking phone and he doesn't have to deal with it, right? That's why. Like I don't own the house I live in. I don't because to me, it's just something goes wrong. I call a fucking landlord. Not my fucking problem. I pay, X amount. I have a fucking security deposit. Don't give a fuck if I get it back or not. Anything that goes wrong, landlord. Anything that goes wrong in my properties, people call me. I call property management because I'm not fucking dealing with it. But it's that mindset of getting on, like just being okay, embracing being uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable, give up luxuries, give up all the fucking shit that you think you need that you don't actually need. Give it up for a few years. Give it up. Don't worry about it for a couple years and imagine the fucking position that you'll be in after those 3 to 5 years versus if you were just sitting here doing the same shit that you've always been doing.
Patience always pays, and I preach that so much. It's like what's a year, what's 2 years. I think there's like again it boils out to the instant gratification. People are just not willing to wait for success. Like I've been trading for 8 years, right? The last 3 years I've become successful in it. I've come, it took me 5 years to become successful in trading. And I was good at what I did the first 5 years, but I wasn't the best, right? I was just good. And being good at trading is still very profitable, but it's not as profitable as those that are great at it, right? So, it took me 5 freaking years of the 8 years I've been trading before I created consistent success, right? When I first started trading, I'd make a great trade and then lose 5, and I'd be back even. And then I'd make a bad trade, and then now I'm down, right? So I'm up 40. I break even after 5 bad trades, and now I'm losing. So like within 60 days, I go through 40,000 up down to minus 10,000, right? And yes, I made great trades inside those days, but it wasn't a consistency, right? You know, and in order to build that type of consistency that brings wealth, you have to continually and consistently do it, right? And you have to be patient on the way up. You know, I didn't just make, and I'm not like wealthy. I'm not a multimillionaire, but there's not shit I worry about. I don't worry about anything. My wife and my family's taken care of, and I don't have worries, right? You know, that for me is wealthy enough. But what it took to get here was years. I quit my job like in my younger 20s. I haven't worked for anybody since my younger 20s. And I did the whole entrepreneurial thing until like I finally got into trading, right? Because that's what I really wanted to do. I love the financial market. I'm on an 8+ year journey on that. And I'm just now at 33 years old becoming the success that I've built over those years. Now I know this is recorded, so I want to say it again. 8+ years it took. 8+ years. People come in here and they see that and they think it's overnight. They're just like, oh, he must have had a bag, or he must have done this, or no, he didn't bust his ass for the last 8+ years. You know what I hate the fucking worst? Oh, it must be nice. Really? It must be nice that I had to fucking live in dumps for 8 years, double wide condemned trailers, fucking work my way up to where I'm at. Yeah, that was real nice. That was great.
I say that all the time. That's my favorite one, because when people say that, I go, "Oh, it was nice. It must be nice." Where the fuck were you when I was working 100 hours a week? Where were you when I wasn't taking vacations? Where were you when I was getting an hour of sleep a night? Where it must be nice? No, it's called fucking sacrifice, is what it's called.